The black sheriff locked himself inside the jail cell, then locked the steel door from the inside, then looked out the window. Outside was a lifeless corpse. It was his wife Laura. At that moment, the deputy heard the noise and rushed over, anxiously trying to stop the sheriff from doing something foolish. But the sheriff calmly said one sentence: "I want to go out." Unexpectedly, just because of that sentence, the sheriff was mercilessly stripped of his life. In the future world, going outside equals committing a crime. Everyone was forced to live in a 100-story doomsday bunker. People were told from childhood that the outside world was filled with poison and uninhabitable. Anyone who mentioned going outside would receive the harshest punishment. That was being exiled to the surface to await death. It was said that no one who went to the surface ever came back alive. But even so, there were always people who questioned the official narrative and tried to escape the bunker. And the black sheriff had always been a model of following the rules in the bunker. However, in an unexpected moment, he suddenly broke the taboo and decided to walk out of the doomsday bunker. It turned out the bunker implemented birth control policies. Only couples who contributed to society could obtain the right to have children. The sheriff and his wife Laura applied multiple times and finally received the opportunity to conceive. Soon the doctor removed the birth control device from Laura's body. The couple was overjoyed at the thought of being able to create new life, but after more than half a year, they still couldn't get pregnant. If they couldn't conceive within a year, they would permanently lose the right to have children. Although the couple was troubled, they never doubted the bunker's leadership. Until one day a white-haired woman told Laura a secret. Laura couldn't get pregnant because it was a conspiracy planned by the leadership, because the white-haired woman and her husband had gone through the same thing. But the sheriff firmly believed the bunker's system was fair and just, so he didn't believe the white-haired woman's words. However, Laura's doubts began to grow. One day a mechanic named William found Laura, who studied computer science, and asked her to help repair an old disk. After Laura cracked the password, she discovered not only the structural map of the bunker, but also that the outside was not a wasteland as people believed, but a thriving oasis. This discovery completely shook Laura's trust in the bunker. She began to believe she and everyone else had been deceived all along. As time went on, Laura's mental state began to collapse. She weakly told the sheriff their failure to conceive was all part of the leadership's plan. But the sheriff had seen the doctor remove the birth control device with his own eyes, so he couldn't believe Laura's words. At that moment, Laura picked up a blood-stained birth control ring from the side and told the sheriff she had removed it from her body herself. The sheriff saw his wife had bled a lot and rushed to find a doctor for help. But at that moment, the desperate Laura, in order to prove the conspiracy, went to the cafeteria and said the bunker had lied to everyone, and publicly declared she would leave the bunker. Although the sheriff rushed over and tried hard to stop her, he could not defy the rules. He could only hold back tears and personally exile his wife from the bunker. Watching his wife slowly walk outside, he desperately hoped the contents of the disc were true, and Laura firmly believed the outside world was safe. But under everyone's horrified gaze, the screen showed his wife slowly falling to the ground, motionless and no longer breathing.